Hiya people, Veitchy here. Welcome back to another episode of Veitchy Goes Indie. Now today I'm playing a game called Thomas Was Alone. And I had no idea what it's about. So, it says resume, even though it's a new game. Program was a failure. People forget this. It was a massive flop. The coders started adding name strings to the AIs as a joke. Thomas AT23612 wasn't special. It was just an AI in the right place at the right time.
Thomas was alone. Wow. A weird first thought to have.
Rhythmic keys. My thumbstick. Okay.
Thomas decided to start listing his observations for posterity. 1. The whole alone thing. 2. Portals. They led somewhere. He'd yet to work out where. 3. Falling. Thomas was absolutely fantastic at falling. He was almost as good at falling as he was at observing.
Holy crap, I love the fact that there's a narrator and they've made a story out of a square. Well, not a square, a rectangle. Falling. This is cool.
Okay, interesting. Thomas couldn't fall past this block. Think, damn it, think. What if there was some kind of inverted fall? Some way to... what's the word? Jump. It worked! Thomas had solved the great inverted fall mystery.
Oh, achievement unlocked. Achievement for 1. This is cool.
A big jump. But Thomas noted there was no real danger in missing it. The world didn't want him to fail here. It was pushing him, but gently.
Ah, I made it.
This all seemed a little dangerous. The world was not to be trusted. It was unstable, and it seemed to Thomas that it could let him down at any moment. He was starting to suspect it might even be doing so. This all seemed a little dangerous. The world was not to be trusted. It was unstable, and it seemed to Thomas that it could let him down at any moment. He was starting to suspect it might even be doing so on purpose. Paranoia.
Run.
Thomas wondered whether the portals were actually taking him anywhere. He felt like he was making progress, but there wasn't really any way to know. He seemed to be moving predominantly up and to the right, which might, or might not, be important. It might have been paranoia again, but Thomas could have sworn the world was becoming more complicated. It always seemed to be one step ahead of his skills. It had been designed just for him. He wondered why. Was the world testing him? No, too obvious.
They're getting so complicated, it's just a platformer.
Something about the boiling, toxic, glowing water intimidated Thomas. He didn't like it. He certainly didn't want to swim in it. He made another mental note. 4. Water. Not good. To be avoided. The loneliness was getting to Thomas. No amount of observation or obsessive note-taking could combat that.
Lime, Thomas. Lime. I'd like to talk over this, but I really don't wanna. I'm just loving the music, I'm listening to the storyline. This has turned into a pretty good game.
Thomas had a new theory. The world was training him. He could feel himself getting smarter. There was the mental list to consider. Over the minutes and seconds since his spontaneous generation, he'd become a pretty skilled jumper. He was evolving. He just wished he had someone to share it with.
For one of these to disappear and I'd fall to my death. I submitted hundreds of bug reports. I told that idiot this would happen. Overlapping scripts. More than one AI was bound to be spawned into an environment at some point. Turns out I missed the point. That little error changed everything.
Chris took an immediate and deep dislike to his
I've got a
skinny
control
red
too?
rectangle. Who the hell did this Thomas think he was?
So I got Thomas and Christopher. Oh, number keys, so 2. Ah. Okay, this becomes interesting.
Chris had been doing fine. He wasn't the highest jumper, but he'd held his own. He'd even been graceful at times. Well, not technically graceful, it's probably the wrong word, but you know, fine. There was that skinny little runt leaping about like he owned the place.
Pick it up. Okay, so switch.
A glowy white thing. Only Chris could get to it, which of course made it all the more enticing. What would it do? What new opportunity might this switch open up to him?
Teamwork
Great.
stuff would have been.
Another chance for Thomas to jump slightly higher than Chris. How fortunate. Seriously, this made the whole switch pressing thing entirely worthwhile.
I was saying before, this whole teamwork kind of thing would be better if I had a second person.
Was this good? Because on the surface, it did not seem good. Chris was pretty scared. Little Red seemed fine, happy to be on his merry little adventure. Chris couldn't shake the feeling that things had taken a significant turn for the worse since Thomas had joined in. Sure, he'd been able to piggyback his way to ever so slightly higher platforms, but where had that got him? Well, to ever so slightly higher platforms, which was sort of his point.
Oh, I knew I'd fail. Come on, Chris. There you go, Chris. Come on, Thomas. There we go.
Chris stared at Thomas with pure hatred. He seemed so very happy at their situation. Friends together, a brave fellowship of quadrilaterals on a quest for greatness. That would be fine. But it was all the obvious observation that Thomas was doing which grated. Every time they saw something vaguely new, Chris would hear a satisfied little from the vaulting idiot.
I'm loving the storyline.
The next portal would split them up, if only for a few levels.
Just give me one moment, guys. Sorry about that. Come on, Thomas. Oh my god, there's a third.
John knew. He knew that this was his chance. A moment to shine. This was game day.
Oh god. Hello, John. This is Chris. Oh, shit, you can jump. That's Thomas.
This would not do. John needed room to show off his exceptional skills. As it was, he was trapped on the wrong side of these little dot things. Where did they come from, anyway?
Jump, Chris. Where's Thomas? There's Thomas. anyone out there watching this video, get this game. This game is so fun.
John inhaled the air of the open space, and it smelled of awesome. Time to flex those muscles, to put his training to use, time to show those little dots how it was done.
Yeah, go John, go John!
John decided to press the switch to let the little dots catch up with him. John cared for his new allies.
Oh, John cares.
You could tell from the sympathetic expression he'd practiced in the mirror all these years.
Starting to feel sorry for Chris. Oh, I can't get up. Come back, Thomas. Save Chris. Shoo! That worked. Okay, I did it with one person, but anyway. Okay, I'll play to 2.0 and then I'll probably stop. But I might actually continue this as just a series on its own.
John was happy to keep helping. He felt it was important to his image that he was seen to help the little guys.
Yeah, it's good for your image, mate. It's good for your image. Skills. Look at that skills.
He didn't mind them so much either. The red one, Thomas, had a charming way of applauding every time John jumped.
Okay. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Okay. Come on, Chris. Warm up, Chris. Warm up.
The angry orange one was less immediately likeable, but his unremitting cynicism and tutting amused John.
Last level, guys. No, end it. It's 1.10. Okay, there is no 2.0. I'll end it here.
A floating target. This would require coordination, balance, and timing. John was sure the dots would be lost, but he was happy to guide them to triumph.
Well done, John. Screw that up. Need that.
Maybe that's what the dots were for. They were there to extend John's reach, to make his performance even more impressive. John liked the thought. He decided to keep them.
There we go. The initial group possessed simple variations in size and strength. More complex configurations were inevitable. As the era spread, these variations became increasingly extreme.
So, this was how Claire would die. She knew it would happen eventually.
Okay. Well,
She was rubbish at jumping, and she moved slowly. She felt a little like her continued existence was breaking some kind of natural order. The crumbling pillar was a dramatic death, she supposed. Wait, what? Claire couldn't shake the feeling that she was not, in fact, dead. It was at that moment that Claire realised she had superpowers. She'd need a cape. There was no getting around that. You couldn't be a superhero without a cape. Claire didn't want confusion.
okay, I am happy.
If you saw a cape, that made matters clear. You knew what you were dealing with. Claire was all about communication.
Shut up, Claire. Okay.
Floating in water, which was her superpower.
Can I talk? This is my video. Can I talk? Okay. I'm going to end it there for this episode of Veitchy Goes Indie. I will most likely return back to this game and continue it on, but for now, I will end it here. We have Claire, Chris, John, and of course, Thomas. But until next time, guys, my name is Veitchy, and I'll talk to you guys later.